so I'm here to deliver the final verdict. Is there a genocide in Gaza? Now, my opinion on this a few months ago was absolutely not, and I haven't really changed all that much. The only thing I've changed on is the fact that I think it might as well be a genocide. Might as well. I don't think it's the technical term for it. We know that they've engaged in intentional starvation. We know that there's an 80-day blockade that just ended. It only ended begrudgingly by Netanyahu because he said that he didn't want the rest of the world to be putting pressure on Israel and they wanted to be able to complete what they started. That's also delusional, but we know that there was a full blockade immediately after October 7th, and using starvation as a weapon of war is clearly collective punishment. It's clearly saying to the group, the Palestinians as a group, because this group within you did October 7th, we are going to punish you for that. It doesn't matter if the starvation is meant to put pressure on Hamas, it's still punishment for the actions of Hamas. And that is illegal. Starvation as a weapon of war is obviously illegal. Apart from that, at least 50,000 people have died. I would venture to guess about 10,000 of them are militants. But on the other hand, Hamas is likely much larger than it was before the war. We know that from what Blinken told us. Blinken had every interest in the success of this war because he was one of the people perpetrating it. And if it was more successful, it would have a better image on himself. But he said Hamas remained the same size. Meanwhile, 40,000 innocent people have died. 20,000 children have died. That's about 50 every day. So 36 children died on October 7th. So, you have to have a big end goal to justify all of these deaths. And not only is there no big end goal, but there's no end goal. There's not even a peace solution being proposed. The only thing being proposed is move all the Gazans out of Gaza. That's the only thing that they've proposed. So they're not getting rid of Hamas unless they kill everyone there. Ethnically cleansing the Strip is not a moral thing to do. It's obviously horrible. You can't just claim land for yourself beyond your own borders. That's a flagrant violation of international law to the highest degree. I think Piers has actually changed on this, but we'll see what he has to say.
To this, Mehdi, welcome back to Uncensored. Listen, you and I have talked about this war in Gaza for ever since it started. This phase of the 75-year conflict, and I have resisted going as far as you have done in your criticism of the Israeli government. I resist no more. I think we've reached common ground about what we view is happening and has been happening through this period of this blockade, which frankly is just starvation of the people there, including so many innocent young women and children. And I think that the incessant...
how is he shaking his head? They've let zero food in. If Smotrich had his way, he would also let in no water. He included water in his statement, by the way, if you want to read that. But no, it is clearly punishing the people of Gaza for the actions of another group, which in my opinion is as immoral as genocide. It's a final solution type thing where you're saying this group of people is fundamentally flawed, so we're just going to do whatever we want to them. We're just going to do whatever we want to them until something comes of it. And nothing peaceful is going to come of that. Either the entire people are going to be displaced or killed, or there really is no other solution, or just the status quo as it's been for 20 years. But another 40,000 people died, so something to consider.
Bombing and killing, and we don't know how many civilians have been killed, but it is on a daily basis. It looks like hundreds of people every day, with no apparent attempt, it seems to me, to have any real plan for how this ends or what happens when it ends. Other than, if you look at what Smotrich has been saying, probably the most right-wing member of a very right-wing government, he is talking in a genocidal language about kicking all the Palestinians out. So I think you and I have reached a place in the last few weeks where we are in agreement.
Absolutely. Smotrich is clearly genocidal. He's a Nazi. He is the most right-wing, as I said, of an already far right-wing government. But I would contend that ethnic cleansing is not the same thing as genocide. Genocide, there has to be an intent to kill, even if you safely transfer population, be it forcibly. That is not genocide. But I doubt Israel would do that. The only thing that can make me really capitulate on this genocide thing is if there's evidence of top down the IDF giving an order to its soldiers to kill Palestinian civilians simply because they were Palestinian civilians, just for the sake of decreasing the population of Palestinians. That would be genocide to me. That's what happened in the Rwandan genocide. You know, when Hutu extremists went door to door, killing the race that they did not like, the Tutsis. That's what happened in every genocide. The Kurdish genocide, when Saddam Hussein killed people just because they were Kurdish, just to decrease the Kurdish population in his country. That's genocide in my view. You know, this kind of conflation of just because something's as bad as genocide means it's genocide. I'll allow it, but I don't know why so many people have fallen to that. Even using starvation as a weapon of war, as I mentioned, isn't technically genocide. It's more collective punishment. You can argue that they're the same, and I would say you're probably right. They're equally as immoral. Genocide more immoral, typically in its scale.
But my question for you, Mehdi, is how does this end?
I don't know the answer to that question, Piers, and I'm glad we're in agreement. I wish we weren't. Actually, I wish I had been wrong and you were right. I wish that a year ago when I said on your show, you said, well, if it's not about the hostages, what's it about? And I said, it's about depopulating Gaza. It's about conquering Gaza. I wish I'd been wrong. But as you said, Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister in the Israeli government, said this week, we are there to conquer, cleanse, and remain. Those are his words. We are
He didn't say we are there to do that. That's what he would like to do. He's like, Bezalel Smotrich said that Gaza should be devastated. It should be destroyed. Smotrich does not command the IDF. He didn't say that that's what their goal was, to destroy everything and everyone in sight. You know, looking at the state of Gaza, it looks like that's what kind of happened anyways. But yeah, I just quibble over the terms. So right now, I don't think it'll be put in the history books as a genocide, but certainly people who are defending it are going to be on the wrong side of history, most certainly. Defending 80-day starvation campaigns, 40,000 innocent people killed, 20,000 children, all for size reduction in Hamas of 0, potentially growing the organization, and all the while not even attempting to capitulate to the most basic standards of international law that the UN has set forth in every single country except Israel and the United States has agreed to. So that's where I sit on this issue.
Assembling Gaza.